And let me just say this.
Uh-oh. Oh, my
The
God.
Denver Nuggets, I told you, I'm all in on the Denver Nuggets.
Do I need the...
The Joker should be the front runner for MVP.
You just showed him he's extraterrestrial because he doesn't leave the ground. That this guy has had the Denver Nuggets invert their offense.
Nikola Jokic has so many features about his basketball game that make him scary good. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about is his scoring. There isn't any place out on the court that Jokic isn't able to score the basketball. When talking about his inside scoring, he has phenomenal touch around the rim that helps him knock down a ton of floaters and mid-range jumpers. He's currently averaging 57.3% from the field this season because of his incredible scoring touch when attacking the basket. Plus, he's even more dangerous when he steps back and shoots from deep.
The Nuggets having some troubles here. 3 to shoot. Jokic way out! And the MVP drains the long three.
Most big men aren't known to fire away a lot of threes, yet Jokic shoots 4.2 three-pointers a game for the Nuggets. On the season, he's shooting 34.9% on those attempts, which is a more than respectable number for a 7-footer. Opposing teams aren't even able to employ the hack-a-shack strategy with Jokic either because he's a very good free throw shooter. Obviously, he isn't on the level of players like Steph Curry and Damian Lillard are, but he does shoot 80.6% from the charity stripe this season on roughly 5.9 attempts per game. When you round all this offensive talent out, you get a player who averages 26.1 points a game. That number is good enough to get Jokic ranked as the 9th best scorer in the NBA this season. There really isn't much that opposing defenses are able to do with such an all-around scoring threat like Jokic. Bottom line, if you line Nikola up with a defender one-on-one, you might as well just put 2 points up on the board for Denver because he always finds ways to score. Even if he passes out of the play, he always seems to just know what's going on. And this actually brings us right into our next topic. To make him even scarier, he's an unbelievable passer. Jokic has picked up the ability to fire away no-look passes to his teammates with ease. He's also been able to understand the way that the offense flows on any given possession, meaning that he just has this sense of where his teammates are going to be on the court at all times. Jokic can also heave down full-court outlet passes when he grabs a rebound or when he goes to throw in the inbound pass for a play. It's almost like as soon as he touches the basketball, the opposing team has to be aware of what's about to happen to them.
5 on the shot clock, they double team him late. Cross court, Gordon for the lead.
And this isn't even mentioning the fact that dribble handoffs are just unfair with him. He's so tall that he can literally just see over the top of the defense and understand where everybody is. So if he's running a dribble handoff and he sees something he doesn't like, he can simply lift the ball up and scan the court again for a different opening.
7 on the shot clock. Jokic. What a pass.
After all, you don't get the label as the greatest passing big man of all time unless you are really patient with the ball in your hands. Oh, and by the way, to top it all off, he's excellent at passing out of really awkward situations. Most players tend to overthink and panic when the opposing defense sends a double team their way, which is understandable, but Jokic isn't like that. It's almost like he thrives in the double and sometimes even triple team scenarios. When teams fly over to try and lock him up, it only opens the floor even more so that Jokic can pick them apart with his passing. No matter how locked up you think he is, he knows that there's an open teammate on the floor somewhere, and he consistently finds ways to get him the ball. Don't just take our word for it either. His stats back all this up. Going back to 2017 all the way through the 2020 season, Jokic averaged more than 6 assists per game. And that's something that he's continued to do over the past few years, but we're just focusing on this stretch of time right now. Only one other center in NBA history has been able to average over 6 assists per game in their career, and that was the legendary Wilt Chamberlain. He was only able to do that twice. So Jokic has more seasons with 6+ assists in just 3 years than any other NBA center has in league history. And that's not all. There have only been 2 centers in NBA history to have 8 or more assists in 100+ games in their career. Jokic is easily leading this stat, with Chamberlain coming in at 149. Jokic passed the 100 mark back at the age of 25, and since then has gone far over Chamberlain's previous record. We just really haven't seen passing dominance like this from any other center in history before Jokic, which makes him one of the scariest players to go up against.
Jokic backdoor cut. Jeff Green.
Now, before we move on, we just heard that you guys weren't subscribed to our channel. Why don't you take a second right now and smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you never miss out on any more of our content. I heard that people who don't subscribe are forced to watch Jokic dominate their favorite team over and over, and you definitely don't want that. So what are you waiting for? Go click the button. Anyways, let's get right back into the video. The next thing that we'll talk about is his surprisingly good defensive abilities. I say surprising because a lot of people have forever thought of Jokic as a lazy and unproductive defender who doesn't protect the rim very well. While that may be true on some occasions, his impact goes a lot deeper than you might have previously thought. Jokic currently ranks number 1 in the league right now in defensive box plus-minus at 4.6. To put that into further perspective, he ranks 11th in NBA history throughout his career at 2.4. Jokic has also been in the top 20 in the NBA when it comes to defensive win shares since entering the league. Somebody tallied up the numbers this season when 2022 started, and this just proves how vital Jokic is to the Nuggets squad at the moment. He has a net rating of 10.1 when he's on the court, as well as a 114 offensive rating and a 103.9 defensive rating. When Denver subs Jokic out, the Nuggets fall down to a negative 0.6 net rating. And that's not all. The team also falls all the way down to a 100.1 offensive rating and a 114.1 defensive rating. That means they are negative 14 when Jokic isn't out on the floor. There's simply zero chance that he has this big of an impact unless he's really holding it down for them defensively, along with his ridiculous offensive arsenal. Even the Nuggets head coach Mike Malone said, "The thing that jumps out to me, and I'm gonna say this, and people not in Denver but people around the NBA will scoff at it, he's a very effective defensive player. You can't say he's not. All the other analytics they use for other players, when you apply those same analytics to Nikola Jokic, he should be an all-defensive player." Now, that's some high praise from one of the more respected head coaches in the league right now. And once again, all the numbers back it up. Jokic has 2.5 deflections per game this season, on top of his 1.3 steals per contest. Among other centers in the NBA, each of these stats ranks second. Now that's somebody who is scary good. Before we wrap up the video, we gotta take a minute to give an honorable mention to his clutch ability. Being clutch in the league is one of the scariest traits you can have because the other team can never really feel safe with a lead no matter how much time is left on the clock, especially when it's a one-possession game with regulation quickly coming to an end. Jokic has proven time and time again that he is truly special when the game is on the line.
Jokic into Paul. Here it goes. Got it! Got it!
This doesn't mean that he just impacts the game by making the last shot either. He doesn't feel that pressure and is always making the right pass or the correct rotation to help his team win when they need it most. Denver never looks at the scoreboard in a close game and thinks that they don't have the talent necessary to pull it out when they've got Jokic out on the court. And with that, we officially wrap up today's video on the things that make Nikola Jokic so scary good. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen now to keep watching more.